Calling our meeting to order this evening. We're here at 901 Main Street in the heart of Old Town Conyers, and we're calling our zoning public hearing meeting. Today is June the 27th, 2024, and it's slightly after the 6 p.m. hour. We're calling our meeting to order. We'll open up with the approval of the agenda.
Yes. I move to approve the agenda.
It's been, I second it. It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. And now we'll have the rules.
Approval of the minutes first, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right. Too fast for condition.
All right.
I move to approve the minutes from May 23rd, 2024.
It's been properly motioned.
Sorry,
and
Mr.
I second.
Chair. Yes, thank you.
I second it. It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And that takes care of the approval of the minutes. Let the record reflect again, May 23rd of 2024. Now we will move to the rules of procedures for public hearings.
So we will play that.
Each speaker must sign their name to the appropriate voting case sheet and fill out a public comment card to register their intent to speak prior to the start of this meeting. Each item of business shall be handled in the order that it appears on the agenda, unless upon motion of the board, the order is changed. A member of the county planning staff will present each item to the board and will provide recommendations made by both the planning staff and the Conyers-Rockdale Planning Commission for each item of business. The zoning applicant or the agent will have 10 minutes in which to make his or her presentation. Any portion of their 10 minutes may be reserved for rebuttal following the opposition to the application. After the applicant's presentation, all registered speakers who wish to speak in favor of the application will then be heard. They will also be limited to a total of 10 minutes. Once the applicant has made his or her presentation and the speakers in favor of the application have been heard, the secretary will then call upon the registered speakers in opposition to the application. The opposition shall likewise be limited to a total of 10 minutes. Once the public hearing portion is closed, no other speakers will be heard. As a reminder, speakers are to address the board and not the applicant or the audience and are expected to conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. The use of abusive or profane language shall not be allowed. No debate or argument between speakers shall be permitted. After all public comments have been heard, the board may elect to hold general discussion. However, no decisions will be rendered at this hearing. Decisions will be made at the next regularly scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting. Appeals shall be filed with the clerk of Rockdale County Superior Court within 30 days after the final decision by the Board of Commissioners.
All right.
All right. I think that wrapped up those rules and procedures. There is no unfinished business at this time. We'll move right on into new business, and I think we have one item.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do, and tonight Ms. Tugman will be presenting that item to you.
All right.
Thank you, Director Rutledge. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner.
Good evening.
I hope you all are doing well tonight. Thank you for accommodating this request. My name is Denise Tugman. I am the Planning Manager for Rockdale County Planning and Development Department. Unfortunately, Deputy Wheeler is unable to be with us tonight, so I'll be presenting the case on his behalf.
Okay.
So, item R1, case REZ 2024-11. The subject property is located on Southeast Parker Road, and the applicant is Danny Herman, but Chad Herman will be representing him tonight. The applicant is requesting to rezone 1.3 acres from C1, local commercial, to C2, general commercial, to be allowed to develop and operate an express car wash. On the location map, the star indicates the proposed subject property, which has a road frontage along Parker Road southeast. The subject site is surrounded by commercial zoned properties. To the north, you can see Liberty Plumbing. To the east is Lowe's. Below those, Napa Autos Parts and Zaxby's. And to the south and west are commercial and office institutionally zoned properties. So the proposed rezoning for a car wash would be consistent with the commercial developments in the surrounding areas. On the zoning map, you'll also get a better understanding of the proposed property and its surrounding areas, which again are all zoned C1 and C2 local and general commercial. The future land use map also show that the character area is commercial in the surrounding area as well. And moving to the project summary and the site plan for the property, there are a few things that I would like to bring to you guys' attention.
Okay.
Firstly, should this rezoning application be approved by the board, the applicant is intending to subdivide the property into 2 tracts with the relevant permits. Track 1 will be rezoned to C2, which they're here for tonight, to general commercial for the proposed car wash. And track 2 would remain local commercial for retail commercial spaces. There are 2 proposed ingress and egress points to the development. Also to note is that that transitional buffers are not required between C1 and C2 zonings. A detention pond is also proposed on the on track 2, sorry. And lastly, there will be ample amount of parking spaces for both proposed express car wash and the retail commercial spaces. So for this case, staff did recommend approval with 17 conditions, and the Planning Commission Board also approved with staff's conditions and added 2 more conditions of their own. Mr. Chairman, staff is willing to read these 19 conditions if you so desire.
Before I decide whether we want to hear all, you said 19 of them?
19 of them, yes.
Let me ask this question. Is there any opposition to this?
So you
There are
have
2.
a couple to speak
There are
tonight.
2.
There are 2, okay.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, yes, let's read every one of those conditions. Thank you so much.
Okay, so number 1, the proposed development must comply with all Rockdale County land disturbance requirements. 2, the proposed development must comply with Rockdale County standard design and construction details. 3, the applicant shall abide by all applicable standards of the UDO for the C2 General Commercial Zoning District unless otherwise specified in these conditions or through approval of a variance by the Board of Adjustment. 4, should the rezoning application be approved, a subdivision application must be submitted to the Department of Planning and Development to separate Track 1 to be rezoned to C2 and Track 2 to remain C1. 5, hours of operation shall be limited from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6, the developer shall provide a lighting plan for the site. Outdoor lighting shall be contained in cutoff type luminaries and shall be directed in toward the property so as not to reflect into adjacent properties or right-of-way. 7, no outdoor loudspeakers or sound amplification systems shall be permitted. 8, no storage or repair of vehicles shall be allowed within the car washing facility. 9, the car washing facility must utilize a recycling system where a minimum of 50% of water utilized must be recycled. 10, the applicant shall provide a 20-foot wide landscape strip adjacent to Parker Road southeast right-of-way. Trees may be planted in groups rather than a single line. 11, vacuum stations and all mechanical equipment, including compressor units, on or around the building shall be screened from view of exterior roadways. Screening design shall be subject to review and approval of the Department of Planning and Development. 12, the existing 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk shall remain adjacent to Parker Road Southeast right-of-way. Should the existing sidewalk be removed during land development, a new sidewalk shall be constructed in accordance with Section 332-9 of the UDO. 13, no plans for ground signage was provided with this application, so proposed signage shall abide by the sign regulations found in Section 230-20 of the UDO. 14, no temporary tents, temporary canopies, temporary banners, temporary streamers, or temporary roping decorated with flags, tinsel, or other similar material shall be displayed, hung, or strung on site, except within 60 days of the grand opening and during special events, which shall occur no more than twice per calendar year and last no longer than 7 days each. 15, all utilities shall be placed on the ground. 16, natural vegetation shall remain on the property until the issuance of a development permit. 17, all grass areas shall be sodded. 18, should the rezoning application be approved, the applicant must obtain approval from the Board of Adjustment to allow a reduction in the side setback along the eastern boundary from 25 feet to 10 feet. And 19, should the rezoning application be approved, the applicant must obtain approval from the Board of Adjustment to allow driveway to encroach into the 20-foot wide front landscape strip by approximately 1,025 square feet.
All right.
Those are the conditions.
All right.
So the applicant is here to present and answer any questions that you may have, and he can maybe give you more in-depth analysis on the whole
Okay, very well.
plan. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Chad Herman of Loganville, Georgia, here to present for Herman Properties on behalf of my father, Danny Herman.
Okay.
So I won't put you through the whole presentation because it's very similar to what you just presented.
We appreciate that.
But I did want to show you, so this is our site plan. You can see the strip in the front that we were asking for the variance, will be asking for the variance for, is just to allow for larger vehicles to have a wider radius to make that turn into our vacuum area. And we would provide some additional landscaping along that buffer in order to make up for that area that's lost in the buffer. And then as well, you can see where we're asking for 10 feet of buffer rather than 25. We have an evergreen buffer put in there alongside. That's just Lowe's truck entrance, basically. So it's where they store their mulch and that kind of stuff, where the trucks come in. These are just some elevations for you to see that it kind of fits along with the existing neighborhood. So it's kind of similar to the shopping center that's kind of catty corner up the road where Amici's is. Mm-hmm. So that shopping center has a kind of a similar look with gabling and similar materials. So it'll be stone with hardy plank. This is just talking about the subdivision of the plats if we get approved for the zoning. And then this is just showing again that everything in the area is also commercially zoned. And then this speaks of the buffers I was talking about. So it just shows what the buffers are. Obviously, we'll need the variance for the side buffer and the part that we had planned to take out for the turning radius. Just showing that we have access to water and sewer. We are in the process, going through the corporate process of getting approval from Lowe's to bore under their road to access the sewer there. But they're in agreement, just waiting to go through the process. And then just again, talking about how everything in the area is also commercial, all of our neighbors. And then just a visual of the same thing. And then the staff didn't find that it adversely affected nearby properties in any way. And then the same kind of things, just it wouldn't have any burden on the school system or any utilities other than water and sewer, basically. Obviously, electric as well, but not a huge burden. Obviously, water is our biggest, water and wastewater is our biggest use. And then the same thing, that everything in the area is commercial, just a slightly different map. And just that the staff would recommend the change in zoning from C1 to C2 for that portion of the property to allow our use. And here's, again, the 19 conditions, so I won't put you through those again. Did you have any questions for me?
Commissioner, you have any questions for Mr. Harmon?
Explain why you're asking for that variance from the 20 feet to 10 feet or 25 feet to 10 feet.
Just to allow our building footprint to fit within our plan. We just felt like if we put a buffer in there, we're, like I said, just kind of abutting the delivery zone for Lowe's, so we didn't feel like it had a huge impact to reduce the buffer.
You're talking about that
Where you see
strip down on the right side of the map there.
Yes, ma'am. So that's showing that's all going to be evergreen trees to block the view there, so it's not a burden on any adjacent property.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then, like I said, the front reduction of the buffer is just to allow for larger trucks to make that turn out to the vacuum area.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be on to those who are registered to speak tonight.
Okay.
Okay, the first person registered is Cynthia Jones.
Good evening, commissioners.
Good evening, Ms. Jones.
Okay, so this is pretty much my first time being here at a commission meeting, and been so busy, and so I felt it was time for me to get involved in the community. So my question, I just have a couple of questions that I have for this car wash. So my main concern is congestion. So was there a traffic study done or something like that of the type of number of cars that's going to be going through? Because the traffic up at the other car wash, it can be hectic at sometimes, but not all the time. So I would just want to know about that. Also, what about the walking trail? It's like it's going to disturb because you have this construction and more cars going in, and so this is a beautiful walking path, and we're walking, and I'm a walker. So I was just concerned about the traffic. We already have the gas station that's going on. How much more traffic can that bear? And then, of course, your pedestrians walking through there, and if there's going to be any type of lighting or signage or something for the pedestrian to crosswalk. Is it going to be, extended time or things like that? My other question, since there also, from my understanding, there's been some talk about expansion on Wheeler Park with more activities going on there. So now you have the people coming out of Parker Road at the park area. Then you have the traffic. And then the other thing is what type of vehicles are coming in, because it is commercial. Are you going to have any type of, what is the traffic as far as the cars going through there? Is it just, right now I think a lot of people just drive through there. It's a shortcut to get off 138. And so my question is, what's going to happen there? Let's see what else I have here. Mm-hmm. And then when you said commercial zone, and I just want to know, you said it wasn't impeding on the the people who have homes right there, at, I think they're condos or going through to Lowe's. How is that impeding that community? And then that's really about the only thing. And then now that we're gonna have more, when this new housing development and with the townhouses that's going up, so we're gonna have even more cut-throughs coming through there. And you know how people like to beat the light. And so I'm fearful of that you're gonna have people who's gonna, now that those two areas start filling up, actually 3 areas, because you got the apartment, the townhouses, and the houses. And so now you got more cars coming in and they like to beat the light. And so my main concern is the pedestrians. And that is all that I have regarding that.
Ms. Jones, first, I want to say thank you for getting involved and thank you for coming out. During these zoning hearings, what we do, the commissioners and I, we listen to all of the information. As you heard in the rules that was read, we don't make a decision tonight. You brought a lot of valid concerns. I know the area very well. I will tell you, just from the fact that I know that little space where they're putting the car wash really well, and you're absolutely right, you described it perfectly. It's a cut through, and people cut through going to Lowe's, and then the senior housing development that already exists, the Summit, I think is what it's called, the Silver Summit. It is a concern of ours for the traffic. What we have experienced and what we are experiencing all over the county is growth. There are tons of new development, which means there are new people, more people moving in. So there's more traffic on the street and the roadways. Whenever there's a new configuration of a business, the ingress and egress has to be included with part of that is traffic control and traffic management. It creates a natural device to some degree, depending on where it's located. And in this case, it's already on I don't even know whether does it even have a name for that cut through street. I don't. Old Parker Road. Okay, yeah, it's because I remember when the Lowe's went up there 24 years ago. That was Old Parker Road right in there, and nothing exists. So I hear you. You're again very valid about the traffic concerns. I will have to yield to staff to answer the question: was there a traffic study of any kind included in this packet?
No, there was no traffic study done because it didn't hit the threshold to require a traffic study.
Okay. So one of the things I would encourage you to do, and I do this all the time, Ms. Jones, have you by any chance had an opportunity to speak with the developers, the people who are putting this project together at all?
No.
Okay. And that's okay. I'm kind of old school in my communication style. I encourage folks to sit down and talk and get to find out, just talk to them. It's okay to just have a conversation, just like you came out tonight. You can meet with them right after the meeting if you like and just gain some understanding as to what they're doing. I think they can better answer your question than any of us as part of the government. Again, if there's something for staff to respond to in terms of your questions, I hope I've given you some type of response because I think you've brought forth, as I stated earlier, very valid concerns. We're all concerned about traffic and the growth of traffic. You made a really big point about the pedestrian traffic and the walk. I'm a walker. I'll walk from 5 in the morning to 6 in the morning, and I'm out on Parker Road in the mornings as well. So that's a concern, and I see the traffic during the day, the heart of the day. Even right now, there's folks over there walking. So that is a concern of ours. And you also made mention of the trail and the pathway that we have. We don't want to do anything that's going to bring harm to people's quality of life in terms of being able to get out in the community and communicate and being able to walk and exercise and enjoy recreation. Please take my advice. Speak with them, and I think from all accounts that I'm picking up, they seem to be willing to communicate with you. And that's something that people don't do much more these days. Everybody go to social media or some other type of platform instead of just talking face to face. And I like to take advantage of that when we have those opportunities.
Okay.
Do you have any additional questions for myself or the commissioner?
No, not at
I want to say thank you again and welcome to Rockdale County.
Well, I've been here for 24 years.
All right,
It's
well,
just-
welcome to this board meeting. You need to show up some more because we like educated, informed, and concerned citizens who get involved. So we're so glad to see that you're involved. I thought I saw you the other day.
I was here.
I thought I saw you. Yes. Okay. Well, good.
There again, I'm getting involved.
Stay involved. We need you.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right, we have a few more speakers.
Okay.
One more.
The second speaker is Mickey Walker.
Ms. Walker, come on up, Ms. Walker. Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening.
And Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you all giving us this opportunity this evening to speak with you.
Yes, ma'am.
I am like Ms. Jones. I've been in Rockdale County over 25 years. As a matter of fact, I moved here right after the Lowe's was built because I was able to go to Lowe's as opposed to Home Depot to get the supplies for my home. So I was number 4 in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So, but this is my first time speaking. I'm doing more like Ms. Jones and getting more involved. I work from home now and no longer work in Alpharetta. So I'm out here. And the one thing I would mention is those signs need to be a little bit bigger for the public hearings.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
literally had to have somebody in the car with me take a photo of the sign because as you're going by, you can't read it.
Okay. Duly noted. Thank you so much.
And that's why I'm here today, because I have a large concern about having that, and also about how we're moving forward with Rockdale County. I see that we have a lot of townhomes going up, a lot of apartment complexes going up. My concern is that car wash is right there near the Rockdale Career Academy. Both my kids went to Rockdale Career Academy. They both graduated college already. I can tell you, children are stupid sometimes, especially boys, and I have 2 of them. They each had cars, and they fly. They still fly. I've got one on a motorcycle now. Each day I wait to see if I see him on the news, but neither here nor there. My biggest concern is Rockdale Career Academy is right there. These children drive very fast. There are multiple accidents. Also, I know this because I live at Yogurt Mountain. I eat there for lunch at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
So I see the accidents that are happening right there. Putting that car wash is a major concern for me as well because now I don't walk. I can tell you that. You can see I'm not a walker. But I am concerned about that intersection. There's a lot of traffic there already. And people and youngsters that are making that quick turn or trying to beat the light, as Ms. Jones mentioned, to get into the car wash, that's a concern for me. Now, again, my children are adults. They still drive, though, and they can be subject to a motor vehicle accident at any given moment if someone is trying to beat the light. Right. So with all the things that are being built in Rockdale County, my biggest concern is why do we need another car wash? There is literally one right down the street, right there at the Publix. Why are we not looking to bring more entities into Rockdale County other than construction for car washes, package stores, and apartment complexes? Where's our new grocery stores? Can we get a Trader Joe's, please? Can we get a Sprouts? I love Sprouts. Whole Market. I call Whole Paycheck, but neither here nor there. I would like one of those as well with my Amazon discount. So why are we looking at things that we already have enough of? Car washes, storage facilities. We have enough. When is it that somebody is going to think about doing more for the community other than a car wash or a storage facility?
I want to say thank you also for coming out, and I'm really appreciative of everything that you just said, because I'm going to take just a quick moment to Commissioner Williams just talk about a few of the things that she talked about in terms of what we are looking at and what we're interested in.
Okay.
And this is a little bit of education and understanding, okay? Mm-hmm. So whomever the owner of that piece of land, it's not Rockdale County. It's a private owner. And the person who's interested in purchasing that piece of land, that piece of property, they typically check with our planning and development department to find out what is it zoned for, what can go there, and they go from there. The county board of commissioners don't go out looking for car washes or looking for liquor stores. And this area here is one of the most complex and confusing area because it's right nestled at the border of the county unincorporated area of Rockdale and the city of Conyers. If you're familiar with that area, then you see both the city of Conyers there at Amici's and the Almond Village apartment, because that's in the city limits, right there where we are. Now, what in terms of the traffic, and we, again, like I said to Ms. Jones, we certainly share that same concern about the traffic and the pedestrian traffic. I want to believe that through, first of all, the Rockdale County Department of Transportation and what we're legally responsible, as well as the city of Conyers and what they're legally responsible for in terms of signage and traffic devices, as well as law enforcement by the police department and law enforcement by the sheriff's office in terms of new businesses and new growth. When those things take place, as they are taking place, the Board of Commissioners, along with the Sheriff's Office, the Police Department, and all of those other entities in our community are monitoring those areas. With some of the new development, there are requirements for new signage and new devices and stuff like that. Going back to what you said about the type of businesses, we've heard it for many, many years up here about the interest of having the Whole Foods, the Trader Joe's, and why don't we have this and why don't we have this? I want to just say this. So before a company comes, the company does what is called a feasibility study. And they do a study on the entire market and the region where they're considering to set up shop.
Okay.
One of the things they're looking at, one of the first things they're looking at, is the median household income. Does the market and the disposable income based upon the median household income in this community, is it driving and demanding for them to come and set up a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's? So the good news in Rockdale, we've gone from 66,000 in terms of our average median household income. Just a few months ago, we made a big boost up to 73,000. That's where it is now, according to the Atlanta Regional Commission. I'm taking this point of education because I think there's a lot of people who really don't know, and they think, well, the county is bringing these things. Well, it doesn't work that way.
And I've heard that,
Right.
that it's about the median household income.
Right.
But that still doesn't stop Jack's from building a 9 million foot building with alcohol.
And the confusing part about Jack's and the new liquor store there is inside the city of Conyers. This board has put in a resolution that we will not allow any more liquor stores inside the unincorporated area of Rockdale County. What's confusing to the average citizen who don't really know or understand, they see the new places, they, well, that's another liquor store. But what they don't know, that's actually in the city limits. You follow what I'm saying?
I do. I
Yes,
thought
ma'am.
that was part of, I thought the city limits of Conyers stopped where that, where the other stone building is, the storage facility.
Oh,
Because
no,
I've been
ma'am.
to their meetings as well.
Yes, ma'am. So where Jackson's located, that's within the city of Conyers.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And it's confusing for so many folks, and and because we have the most popular platform for
Right.
people to come and be vocal, a lot of folks don't know that we really do have a mayor, we have a city council. You know, other than the police department, we got a mayor and a city council. Most people don't go. Same thing with the school board. There's a school system, and they have a board of education meeting that people should go.
Been there too.
But I'm not just talking to you. I'm using this opportunity because there's a lot of people that's misinformed. But I really appreciate you coming out. I've made notes, Commissioner Williams, about the concerns for the traffic, and I think she and Ms. Jones both bring up very valid point. The pedestrian traffic in that area is fluid. I'm very familiar with it. And you're right about the growth. The growth is happening all over the metropolitan Atlanta area, and that includes Rockdale County. The thing you brought up about the townhomes or the townhouses, I'm not a land developer, but what I do know, the growth and the building trends are based upon what people are purchasing and buying.
Right.
And a lot of the new home buyers now, they're not buying the traditional houses.
They can't afford it.
That and some people are downsizing, and those are the types of dwellings that they prefer.
We
So
can't
that-
afford that either.
Well, but somebody can afford it because they're building them. You follow what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
That's just like the high-priced car at the dealership. Somebody can afford it.
Absolutely.
They keep making them.
Yeah.
You
I get
got what I
you're
mean?
saying. I get what you're saying.
And there's a $75 steak in Buckhead, and somebody driving all the way up there to get that $75 steak. I can't afford it. I don't even know whether I want that steak or not. But somebody's making that trip to get that $75 steak. You get the point I'm making.
I do.
So, but we do need you and citizens like Ms. Jones to stay involved. I heard you say this the first time you out. Keep coming.
First time I've spoken.
Spoken.
I've been out.
Keep coming and continue to speak, but I want you to be educated and informed. And we've got a wonderful staff of in-house experts here that you can call them up or email them and say, look, can I come to your office? I want to get some understanding about something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's new. I did not know that we
Yes.
had, that as citizens, we had the ability to do that.
Yes,
So
every
if you
one of
could
these,
talk to
guess who
whoever
the
does-
employees work for? You. They
Absolutely.
work for you. So all you got to do is send them an email and say, Executive Director Rutledge, girl, put me on your schedule. And she'll put you on the schedule, and y'all come in, and you don't even have to sit in a stiff office. You can go to lunch and have lunch. And now, I don't say she's going to pay for your lunch, but I'm just saying you
I'm
can go
gonna
to lunch.
pay. I would pay for her.
Sounds like we're going to Yogurt Mountain, so.
But let me wrap it up and say this: we are an open government, and we want people to inquire with us so that they will. We'd rather to have an informed and educated citizen standing at that podium than someone who is misled or perhaps giving out the wrong information or speaking stuff that's based on rumors and not facts. We can give you the factual information, and you can spend time with the commissioners and learning about what's really happening in the county for yourself. I commend you and Ms. Jones for taking the time on this Thursday evening. You could be doing something else to be involved with the community and come out. I also want to, my last point is, and I'm going to yield to the commissioner if she has something she wants to share, but as I encourage Ms. Jones, meet with the proposed developers
Yes.
and have a conversation with them and go from there. Commissioner, any comments in
I think
response?
you covered it all.
Well,
Can we
Very
discuss
well.
the signage? Can it?
the signage, I made a note about that. In fact, our deputy director, and the director and our deputy director is here tonight, and they also, I saw them also making notes as well. And I've heard that before because you're right, driving down the road, you try to squint and see, you don't have but a window of time when you're driving. Now, we have to find the bright balance because as soon as we raise the font, somebody's going to complain about the font.
Exactly.
It's too big. So
I agree.
we got to find that right balance.
Or you could do two different signs.
And
You
we'll
could
have
do a
signs
regular-
everywhere, wouldn't we?
Well, we need them.
Yes, ma'am.
We need them.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all very
Thank you,
much.
Ms.
I
Walker.
appreciate
Thank you so
you all.
much. Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, the applicant has reserved his balance for rebuttal. So, would you like to come back?
I appreciate that, and we're going to honor that if he so desire. But I was going to say this: if I was you, I'd spend time talking with these nice ladies afterwards, and don't worry about embracing the word rebuttal. But if that's what you want to do, you can come on up here. But if I were you, I'd see them on the steps, and I'd talk to them, and I'd give them my information, invite them over, and I'd communicate. But you're welcome to rebuttal if you like.
Well, I think it would be beneficial for him to speak here because there's an audience virtually
It's
as well.
on him. All right, come on up, sir.
Yeah, not necessarily a rebuttal. I just wanted to say, as when it pertains to the traffic, we do have a pretty long decel lane coming into the entrance from the one side, and then we have the median break for the other Parker Road or Old Parker Road coming straight across there. And we would in no way be opposed to a traffic light if it warranted that either. just obviously there's a threshold for that.
Yes,
so
yes.
we were just wanted to say I am in no way opposed to that, and we plan to put in the 5-foot sidewalk when we develop the site. So the whole site we plan to develop it together, at which point, we go ahead and install the sidewalk. So there shouldn't be a long period where there's a missing link in the sidewalk there.
All right, well, certainly appreciate you sharing that and clearing that up. I think that phrase or term rebuttal sometimes can create a set of emotions, and I agree with you, Commissioner Williams. It was best for you to come and share that openly in this open setting. I still encourage you to talk with the two ladies, and I think even sometimes taking people to the site and meeting them at the site and talking and pointing and looking and seeing. When you're in the moment, it helps folks to understand. As stated earlier, no decisions are made tonight. The commissioner and myself will certainly take in all of this information from everyone who's spoken tonight, and then we will be. And when is the actual date of a decision regarding
the
tonight?
second reading will be July 23rd.
Okay, the second reading is July 23rd. Okay, very good. Well, we'll let you know something at that point.
Thank you.
All right.
So
Thank you, sir.
That was the only item on tonight's agenda, and I believe it's planning finished with your presentation? Yes. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming out tonight and being a part of our meeting. Have a safe meeting. This meeting is adjourned.